You don't need a new business idea. You don't need a new venture. You need this. What you need is a skill. Everyone these days is obsessed with having that next big idea. But let me tell you the truth. I didn't start with $1 million idea. I literally start with 15-hour skill and turn it into a recurring income machine. So the way that wealth works is you gotta think business is a bridge, and you are on the other side of that cliff. And every single cliff just always looks green on the other side because you need to start building the bridge over. So what I mean by building a bridge over is you start one business that might be one block of your bridge, and you every single day or every single week you add new skill to it. You add more brick, and if that business fail, you continue just adding more brick by trying different business. But the point is you should never switch the objective mid building. So, for example, if you're halfway through this bridge and you switch to a different objective. So, for example, instead of just looking for that wealth, you decide, okay, I gotta focus my body now, or okay, I gotta build a different business. You would never complete that bridge if you don't build it, as Thomas said. So, it's kind of like a slot machine. You just keep pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling at the slot until it hit jackpot. But the difference between a slot machine and business is that the luck stacks. So think of it as a pity system. The more that you pull at that slot machine, it will just keep building up and building up as you add the skill. That's why I always think that it is always best for you to just work on a business for the sake of building the business because you never know when you hit that $1 million idea. But the whole point is just to keep adding brick into it until you reach the other side. So, this is what I did when I started. I really didn't wait for any inspiration or any motivation. The moment of that I thought of something, I started it. I started by solving some people problem that they already had, and they were already paying for it. So for me, it was helping construction work at first. I thought, okay, during this COVID time, or yeah, uh, people weren't getting a job a lot. So construction company was struggling a lot. And I thought, okay, maybe that would need more people working for them. So I decided to start a hiring agency, call them, text them, and stuff like that. Uh, None of them answered. Not a single reply. But guess what? I've added a skill of how I learned how to market. I learned how to do outreach from that failed business. And then I started another one. I decided to help business broker to help get them client. It was hard, but since I have that outreach skill, they really didn't care about any other thing because I market myself as someone who can solve their problem. They didn't care about my logos, they didn't ask about my business plan for the future. All they wanted was a way for me to help them. And that's the first step. Since all I've learned so far was outreach and doing marketing, I didn't know how I would uh, really fulfill them. So I decided to pick the next skill that I would learn, which is fulfillment. So I learn it and I practice it on a couple broker. I just send them few lead for free and see if that worked for them. I got them with a result. And once I did that, I packaged it into a massive system and then I sold it. Pretty much simple. And by packaging my skill into a system, I added another skill to the brick. And that skill was to learn how to create an offer so that it encapsulate into a bigger system. So that is something that I've learned. So that's the real blueprint, really. As you build business, as business will fail, you'll start to get more brick to add along that bridge. And that's the real blueprint right there. So the thing is, you don't build a business from thin air. It doesn't just appear like that. It might seem to other people, you might seem stuff online, and people might position it as, okay, I've just did this overnight, and I literally got rich off it. You build it from repetition, from putting in the small work and putting in the small brick. And the real experience was coming from you helping real people just doing the stuff physically, just doing everything that you can. And your idea is just basically a wrapper. There's no candy inside of it yet. Your skill is essentially the candy for you to sell. So, like I said, if you don't have an idea, don't stress it because that's actually good. Because if you can just go straight to what really matter and start learning high value skill. Because when I start, all I had was outreach, and all I know was outreach. I came and that was I market at the start. But then as I build on more skill, I can market different business idea to different people. So learn high value skill and find people with that specific problem that your skill can solve for them, and then scale, add more skill as you need. So if you're a business broker or an entrepreneur watching this and you don't care about some, fancy pitch, all you care is just one thing is that can this guy get me result? And that's what I do. So that's exactly what my course teach. And if you want to check out my self-serving course below, check it out. But than that, later.